Hi, this is Eric Erb from The Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com and, of course, twitter.com/, The Eric Erb Show. You can find me on anchor.fm. That's anchor.fm/, The Eric Erb Show Live. Love to have you subscribe, subscribe down below. And, of course, you can find me on Spreaker.com/, The Eric Erb Show Live. And on my new platform, Podbean, podbean.com/ Eric Erb Live. I want to talk to you about something in the news today, and this is listed, it's on redstatenews.com, redstate.com. That's the link, that's the news site, and the headlines is something I was hoping I wouldn't have to talk about again, but I know this person is always in the news, always a media monger, always a news monger, always just seems like there is no end to the attention this person always gets in the media. It's absolutely crazy. This person's always getting tons and tons and tons of attention in the media, and that is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And the headlines from redstate.com read, AOC launches a new PAC, that's a political action committee for those people that don't know what PAC stands for, meant to torpedo elected Democrats. I know a lot of people love her. How can you not, when someone who is being told how smart she is blowing up the very infrastructure used to affect change? She really thinks she's super duper smart. And I find that amazingly, amazingly funny how smart she thinks she is. And notice how I said thinks she is. The Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announced on Friday she has formed a new political action committee, a new PAC, that will get progressive Democrats elected, and even if said progressive in a moderate district for Democrats or Republican-leaning one. You see, she did this with 20-plus D district, so she thinks it'll work everywhere. So in other words, in New York, the long-standing congressman up there, the Justice Democrats. See, a lot of people don't know about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was recruited by the Justice Democrats. The Justice Democrats are those that are very extremely progressive. They want socialism. They're extremely progressive. I think it's Cenk Uygur used to run the progressive Justice Democrats, and there's a couple other people I forget, but he was one of the main ones that originally formed the Justice Democrats. And so they recruited, and what it was they were recruiting somebody that wanted to basically act. And so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they seen her, they liked her looks, she's clean looking, she's fairly attractive, well spoken. She does have a degree, supposed to be in economics. Now I find that very funny. She can't even seem to add 2 and 2 half the time. But with all of that said, she was recruited by the Justice Democrats, and she's just gone hog wild. And what I don't understand is everybody, the media, makes such a big friggin' deal about this woman, and she's nothing. She's just all hot air. She won't debate anybody. She won't talk to anybody. She'll talk to people in the halls of Congress, but if you see her on the street, she runs, she hides, she has people around her that try to supposedly protect her. I don't know what from, maybe herself, but she doesn't want to engage in any real sort of debate or any type of conversation, because she knows she's going to look like an airhead. She knows that she's just simply an actor filling a role of congresswoman up in the, I believe it's the 14th district in New York City. And it's so funny because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announced on Twitter her page that she formed a new PAC, a political action committee, and she says she has the courage to change, announcing its first endorsement of candidates. Here are some of the candidates Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is backing and giving full support to. One lady up in Texas is running for Congresswoman, Christina Ramirez. There's another lady here, Teresa Fernandez of New Mexico, Kara Easterman of Nebraska, Georgette Gomez of California, Maria Newman of Illinois, Jessica Cisneros, if I have that name right, Cisneros of Texas, just to name a few. It's like all these candidates who the Justice, not just her, the Justice Democrats, they're going to primary, or in other words, they're trying to knock out establishment Democrats. I find that really easy. Are very, very fascinating. Not easy. I find that very fascinating that the Democratic Party has turned inside out as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is causing her mischief and starting her own political action committee. So she's going to primary these weak, moderate Democrats and these districts and the cities and states that I named just a second ago. They want to knock them weak-ass people out, put these far-left, liberal, socialist Democrats in there, and they think that they will affect change. And there again, this is the agenda, or the global agenda, the big agenda, if you will, for the Justice Democrats organization. And again, once started, I believe, by Cenk Uygur, originally started the Justice Democrats. And it's very, very, very... It's humorous, because if you're on the other side of the aisle and you're looking at this and you're saying, wow, they're eating each other alive. It's like, no fucking shit, they're eating each other alive. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is trying to pull the Democratic Party as far left as she possibly can. Nancy Pelosi's not stopping her. Nobody's stopping her. One thing that has to happen so the Democratic Party will come back around is that somebody has to stop her. Somebody has to take her out in the primary. They have to take her out. She has to be voted out in her district, the 14th district of New York City. They have to get rid of her. Because what she's not understanding is she's taken out her own to put her own socialist Democrats in there. So in other words, she doesn't care if another Democrat's in the district. It's like, get them the fuck out of there. You know why? Because we want a socialist. We want a young kid in there. We want somebody in there that's going to listen and have an ideology, a radical ideology of free college, of free health care, and all of these types of radical things the socialist left want. Don't do what I say what I do. You know, that type of mentality. And that's what she hopes to do. She honestly believes that. She has, as I've been saying all along, I've said this for at least a year, not on this podcast, but I've said this to a lot of friends. She was artificially created, and now the media doesn't think that anything or anybody can take her down, or the Democrats down, especially the radical far left. Well, I can tell you what, I know her Twitter followers, half of them, 5 million or 10 million, are fake. 3/4 of them are fake. They're fake just like her. She tries to be somebody she's not. She's uneducated. She was a bartender. I'm not knocking bartenders. We all had to start. I've done my service for 10 years in the restaurant industry over 35 years ago. I mean, we all have had to start somewhere. I got it. I totally get it. But to go on and to not represent your district, not represent the people of New York City the way they need to be represented, to run around and say, oh, I'm a bartender, then now you're making over 125 grand a year. It's like, come on, that's just fucking bullshit. You don't know anything. You're a stupid ass person. You don't know anything. All you do is know how to make scenes, and all you do is know how to get on the bandwagon. That's the only damn thing you know how to do. You don't know how to do anything else. You don't know how to cast a vote. What the hell votes have you got passed? All you do is just stir up drama. That's all this AOC does. But she's so damn fucking good at it. And the Democrats are so fucking dumb. And they let her keep going and going and going. And it's sad. It's extremely sad because she's pulling the party so far to the left that they might not ever come back. And let's face it, in a general election, you have to be either slightly center left or slightly center right. That's it. People, there are a lot of millions and millions, hundreds of millions of moderate people in the world, or at least here in the United States anyway. There are millions of people in the United States that are moderate. And that's how you're going to get the moderate and independent vote, not being too wacky or crazy too far to the right, not being too wacky and crazy and too far to the extreme left, to the moderate. Left of center or right of center. That's the bottom line. That's what's going to win votes in a general election, not one way extreme or the other way. This is Eric Erb from The Eric Erb Show. If you like the podcast, like, subscribe. Definitely I could use your support. Love to have you contribute. Go online. You can find me at theericerbshow.com, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show, anchor.fm, that's anchor.fm/The Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me on Spreaker, spreaker.com/The Eric Erb Show Live. And of course, my new platform called podbean.com/Eric Erb Live. This is Eric Erb. I hope you have a great night, and I'm signing off. See ya.